Techies, Techettes, a new quarter has broken into us. We've got a brand new enterprise software. The pro software is finally here, and there is actually a rendering software too that's a plugin for the additional portion in order to make your renders go faster. My name is Mac with the MacGyver7 channel. Today we're going to be sizing up the old quarter of 20.Q4 versus 21.Q1, the brand new software that's supposed to be good for work creators, rendering, graphic design, all that fun stuff that would fall into the sun. Even Blender picks up a nice little bit of speed. Now we're going to be going to look over the patch notes, some benchmarks, and seeing that. And in a further installment later on, which is going to be a two-piece separate from this one, we'll be looking at what will be compared to the new Q1 of 21 versus the brand new 21.3.1, and you'll be surprised. The test results are in, but stay tuned for that episode later on. Now, before we jump into the technicals to see what AMD has changed with this brand new pro software and see what they've fixed, because they do have a patch notes section we're going to be browsing, we're going to look at some of what happens with the Blender results. I used the BMW test in order to render these, and one of the things that I will mention, if you are rendering like some programs for this, make sure that you install it, let it download, and then repeat the actual test, because when I sized it up against it, you'd be surprised what ends up coming out when you actually go about and retest it again. Sometimes it's like that. You never know. Just always be open to retesting because you can see some results. So we can see right over here, one of the cool things is this is the brand new software. Sized up between the old software, you can see it beats it by 1%. But even better, one of the cooler things that I noticed was the overclocking headroom. The software definitely has a nice touch for as far as utilizing the software and having consistency for computing, so you can knock off literally 2% and about 5 seconds to 4 seconds depending on if you're using the old enterprise software, which is at 105 versus 104, which is the new enterprise software for the Q1 of 2021. So let's go ahead and jump into our patch notes. Now, the few issues that it does have that it fixes is the model corruption in SketchUp application on the Radeon Pro, the W5500 series, and the W5700 series, image corruption and stability in the issues of Blender application, and the corruption of 10-bit image in the output of the configuration. Known issues that are still at large will feature the image corruption on the Chef's Premiere for the application and the configuration, and 8K comes into the display for the WX3100 series and the 3200 series for as far as the possible stability and the issues of disconnecting from those screens. So some of the features that we'll be seeing for as far as what ends up coming down to the configuration, you'll see that the frame lock is one of the cooler things that comes into it for multiple screens for the S400 sync module for 4K resolution at 60 Hz. On top of that, for as far as the Enterprise 21Q introduces a complete redesign of the interface with a more intuitive access application and features. Now, when you look at what ends up being the software, nothing's really changed. There are a few notes with utilizing this program that I'll leave this link down below for you to look into. I think right now, for as far as it is, we're going to match up some benchmarks to see exactly where it levels in with some nice tests. Now for this test, a lot of people don't have access to the hardware accelerator, and one of the tricks that I utilize is I use a mix and match combo. If you utilize an NVIDIA card in a slot of PCIe and you have a hardware acceleration on with an AMD card, it works really well, because I know there's a certain specific driver that only allows AMD to access that, but I found a loophole around that. You just have to have two graphics cards of dissimilar taste. But moving on past that, we're just going to make it basic. For today's stuff, we're going to be going driver to driver, because that's all it's going to give you with no hardware accelerator off and on. Everything is native for the as far as the way that they're doing it. So for as far as improvements, we can actually see there's a percentage jump. So you're rendering your stuff for as far as the way you're going to be looking at like physics scores, everything's looking solid. I mean, I like the combination. I love the way that they actually had the graphic portion increase. By far, if you look at the one on the right, which is our brand new 21.Q1, it's doing pretty good outside the gate. 20.Q4, well, it can definitely have some good overroom head, and I was overclocking to show you, which you can gain another clean percentage out of. Now, this doesn't mean rush out and go start playing all your favorite games. This enterprise software may work really good for rendering and stuff like that, but this again will, if you're playing like Call of Duty, Warzone, you may see some FPS drop, or you may see some improvements. It just depends on the game format of what they're utilizing in the base engines. You never know what may benefit off of this, and if you are benefiting off of this and out of randomness, you switch over this in order to start doing creation station stuff, and you notice, hey, my FPS went up a lot, and I can overclock cleaner, leave a comment down below. I'm pretty sure a lot of people within the community would like to hear that. As we tiptoe inside of the Firestrike Extreme to continue our DirectX 11 look of the way that the Pro software is going to integrate inside of there, we can see consistency. It's actually giving us a little bit more of the combination. It's giving us a nice robust look as far as the graphics score and our physics scores. Everything is looking decent. This is personally what I would like to see as far as improvements inside of graphic drivers, and they are taking a little bit longer. The last time we saw this was last year. Now, let's go ahead and look at 4K. How would editing look inside of this situation? And this is just impressive. Like, honestly, it's not percentage jumping, but in 4K in the department of seeing graphics scores go up and the minimal portion of physics being balanced along with the combination score going up, you're going to see a lot of performance for as far as editing and trying to get those renders done. If you're a worker, this is definitely going to be a driver that you'd want to install if you're doing a lot of DirectX 11 look, but let's see how the DirectX 12 time spike could tell a different tale. As you can see, things get completely on a nice playing field for every DX portion, with DX11 already taking it from 1080p to 4K and are seeing our Blender tests increase. We also see the same exact thing happen for as far as DirectX 12. Our graphics scores improved by almost 100 points, and even our CPU is brushed up. One of the things that they were talking about running in tandem, and that would be an issue if you had some idles going a little too high towards that TDP. So let's go ahead and look at 4K. How does that look before we pull out of this patch note and benchmark for the brand new 21.Q4? And this is just ridiculous. The amount of performance that was able to be squeezed out of this, and I just mean it's almost like a damn near overclock with what they did for as far as the way that they performed it. I mean, that's insane. And I'll show you the follow-up of what we had for as far as the overclock on the older driver. The one on the left is overclocked. The one on the right is not overclocked. That's insane. And it still like almost damn near beats it. So if we were able to add a little bit of overclocking magic to this, we'd start seeing a lot of cooler portions come out of this. Now, I've tested both of them and ran some intensive portions of testing, and both of them did not cave under a lot of the stress tests that I did between rendering and running some CPU tests. So, follow up. Should you install this? Absolutely. One of the very few times that I actually am very ecstatic in order to promote a brand new enterprise software for people to start utilizing. Now, if you are a creator, definitely do so. Now, if you're a gamer and you're wanting to size it up, which was a great community suggestion, one of the reasons why I actually got to this, which I definitely influence people. I implore you, if there is something that comes up like a chipset driver, which I have tons of community members that like to let me know that, and I appreciate that because it keeps me on top of my game, and as well as top of the portion of the queues that come out for the enterprise software and the pro version of what they offer. Now, sometimes there will be more accessibility to other cards, and it will fumble down my tracks a little late, so leave a comment. You never know how fast I can come around for as far as bench results and what everyone can get down to for as far as saying, should I install this? So today's episode was awesome. I quite frankly think that this is a great improvement of what AMD is doing, and hopefully they can start doing that with the Adrenalin software and sizing it up. If you're newer to the network, you can always like, share, and subscribe for future content. And on the tail end of this video, I should have hopefully this uploaded the second version of this, which is going to be sizing up the Adrenalin software, brand new, and well, our 21.Q1. Will it size up? Will it match up? You'll just have to click and find out to watch the next episode. I'll see you guys and gals in the near future. Stay safe, stay classy, and if you subscribe today, who knows, maybe Lisa Sue will actually send me a 6900 XT that are sold out and everyone's like not like selling them right now. It sucks. I really want one. I know that that's a little overkill, but I still want it. Anyways, everyone, have a very nice day. I'll see you guys and gals in the near future.